Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please subscribe to this channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. So today we are looking at the industrial development plan, during the first rolling plan. Industrial development plan during the rolling plans in Nigeria. Government from 1990 adopted the strategy of national rolling plans. The aim was to consolidate the achievements made under the structural adjustment program. For instance, having identified the major constraints of the industry in the first national rolling plan, that was 1990 to 1992, to include, and what are those challenges, what are the constraints? The constraints actually include shortage of industrial raw materials and inputs, infrastructure challenges, inadequate linkage among industrial subsector, and administrative as well as institutional problems. In the industrial master plan, which was part of the rolling plan, which was part of the first rolling plan, therefore sought to promote the development of an efficient industrial system through the determination and definition of all the functional aspects of an industrial system and the preparation of an action plan to achieve established objectives and targets. Another program that resulted from the rolling plans was the privatization of public enterprises, including those in the industrial sector, for more effective performance. This was undertaken by the Technical Committee on Privatization and Commercialization. Government as well commenced a deliberate policy aimed at assisting small scale enterprises or industries, given their contribution to the economy in terms of employment generation, promotion of indigenous technology, as well as forward and backward linkages. In the same vein, government sought to make all areas of the country attractive to new investors through a package of incentives, including a program of industrial layouts and craft villages development. It also pledged to assist state governments with matching grants in the establishment of industrial estates for small scale industries. Government equally promoted the entrepreneurial development program, EDP, working for yourself programs, YFYP, and train the trainer scheme. The aim was to develop a crop of entrepreneurs needed for successful implementation of the small industrialization strategy. Yet another industrial policy was released by the Federal Ministry of Industry in 2003. The overriding objective of this industrial policy was to accelerate the pace of industrial development by radically increasing value added at every stage of the value chain. According to the policy, Nigeria's resources will no longer be traded in their primary state. Henceforth, government would emphasize increases in total factory productivity, TFP, by pursuing knowledge and skill intensive production on the basis of available best practices. To this end, it would encourage forward and backward linkages within a few chosen niches. The objectives of the policy were reduced into short, medium, and long terms. For the short term, The objective were to raise capacity utilization and manufacturing from 30% to 60%. Create new opportunities for the development of the small sector, create more direct and indirect employment opportunities, and create conditions to attract new investments in the medium and large industries. Its emphasis in the medium term were to strengthen the competitiveness of manufacturers by facilitating access to technology and best practices, stimulate development of small and medium-sized enterprises by developing the nation's resource as a base for cheap inputs, maximize linkages achieved between small-scale units and medium and large-scale enterprises, and adapt and respond to changing global environment. The long-term goals were to encourage 100% export-oriented units and encourage industrial development in the informal sector. Government's commitment towards achieving these objectives was indicated by its renewed effort, to enter into partnership with the private sector for industrial development, as well as ongoing policies of deregulation, privatization, and commercialization were to be more vigorously pursued. And to tackle the issue of perennial lack of funds in the industry, the Bank of Industry, that is BOI, was established, as the primary development financial institution in Nigeria for lending to industries. It was created out of the National Economic Reconstruction Fund, the Nigerian Bank for Commerce and Industry, and the Nigerian Industrial Bank Development Bank. Similarly, the Nigerian Agricultural Cooperative and Rural Development Bank was set up and mandated to facilitate the availability of primary industrial inputs through the production of medium to long-term funds, for agriculture and agro-allied industries. As in the case of Bank of Industry was created, as in the case of Bank of Industry, the NACRDB was created out of the People's Bank. Out of the People's Bank, Nigerian Agricultural and Cooperative Bank, and the Family Economic Advancement, Program. Furthermore, government acting through the Central Bank of Nigeria got commercial banks in the country, to set aside 10% of their annual profit as equity funds for the promotion of SMEs, under the Small and Medium Enterprises Equity Investment Scheme. Other efforts to boost industrial development in the period include strengthening the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP, which started in 1979 as the National Office of Industrial Property, that is ONOIP, promoting the export processing zone, and export processing factories, as well as strengthening the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council, that is NIPC, essentially to control and administer incentives to attract investment. Furthermore, although export promotion had been in focus, since the 1980s, when the export that is Incentives and Miscellaneous Provisions Decree number 18 of 1986 was promulgated. It received greater attention in the period, especially the strengthening of the Export Expansion Grant, that is EEG, which was to provide cash inducement, to exporters who have exported a minimum of 500,000 worth of processed products, including solid minerals. Thank you very much.